Honorable Malema.
Thank you very much, Deputy Speaker. It is so discouraging to see old people clapping hands on issues that are actually what we are proposing, and you pretend as if something different has been said. If you read the motion of the EFF, we say support the renaming of the Cape Town International Airport to Winnie Mandela International Airport in line with applicable laws. And then she comes here, quote the laws that we are saying we must support in line with those laws. You clap hands as if she's saying something different. You do that because you are lazy to read. You are depending on verbal information. You have never gone past 3 pages of any book. That's why people clap hands for things that are already articulated here. You must learn to read. Don't be a group of lazy thinkers and lazy readers. Now, I think that to even call Honorable Dikeledi to come here and talk about Mama Winnie the way she did, she must be embarrassed herself. And I must tell you now that you have committed a political career suicide. You will never emerge anywhere in the structures of the movement, I can tell you now. Because the reason why you were at some point a rising star,
Point of order, Deputy
and now you are
Speaker.
a former something,
Honorable Malema.
it's clear that you will never grow
Honorable
politically.
Malema, please take your seat. Yes, Honorable Member.
The Honorable
is
Malema
this one?
on the podium may not cast a reflection on the personal integrity, on the integrity of Honorable Makadzi, who has done so well, by the way, while she was there. Therefore, we request that you rule on that, even if it's now or at a considered stage. Honorable
I
Deputy
consider
Speaker.
it a debating point, Honorable Member. Go ahead, Honorable Malema.
The reflection on her personal career.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead, Honorable Member.
Now, it's the truth. She will never be anything. Cabinet is going to be reduced. She doesn't qualify to be anything. You can hear when she speaks here that she doesn't even come anywhere close to what Winnie Mandela is. You don't even qualify to be a village heroine because you got nothing that it takes to be a leader. So you can't say we are point scoring when we talk about Winnie Mandela. We lived with Mandela. We supported her when it was not fashionable to do so. That's why we support her even in her grave, because we'll never sell her out. So all of us here, this is a very clear case. Use your conscience to vote. If the ANC expels you for voting that the airport must be renamed after Winnie Mandela, that will be the most revolutionary thing you have done in your life. Don't be scared to be expelled for principle. That the airport must be named Winnie Mandela is not a sellout position. We are not saying we are renaming the airport. We are saying we are throwing our weight behind the name of Winnie Mandela because so many names have been raised, but that should be subjected to the process. So we are not saying here and now we are renaming the airport. We are just throwing our weight. And some of you sitting there, you support Winnie Mandela, demonstrate that during the voting. If they expel you for that, die with your boots on. Don't sell Winnie out even in her grave like you did when she was alive.
Your time has expired. Honorable members, that concludes the debate. I now put the motion. Yes, Honorable Member.
Deputy Speaker,
Yes, Honorable Member.
I rise using Rule 121 to make an amendment to the motion before us,
Go
the
ahead.
resolution before us.
Yes.
On a point of order, Deputy Speaker,
Yes. What's your point of order?
the procedure is that you must put the question to the House.
Honorable.
And then when we are deciding it, that is when an amendment can come to the motion. Not this rush of objection. It's out of order.
Honorable Member, can you, with the greatest of respect, take your seat? Go ahead, Honorable Chief Whip.
Deputy Speaker, on the draft resolution by Honorable Malema, there's point 1, which we agree with. There's point 2, further notes, the massive contribution by Mama Winnie, we fully agree with. There's point 3, recalls that when she passed on, Mama Winnie was a member of the 5th Parliament, we fully agree with. Point 4, further recalls that there are very few significant spaces and areas that are named after female freedom fighters in South Africa, we agree with. We then amend point 5 to read, acknowledges that the Airports Company of South Africa, AXA, has started a process informed by the relevant Tina Sisulu, Tata Nelson Mandela, Chris Hani, Princess Krotoa, Robert Sobukwe, and Alex Laguma are already part of the AXA renaming process. And 7th, reaffirms and supports the process undertaken by AXA and the outcome of which will be submitted through the Geographical Name Council for further processing and finalization. I so move.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
What are you raising, Honorable Member?
No, the Chief Whip of the ANC is completely changing our motion. And in terms of Rule 121, it says, subject to Rule 122, a member may propose an amendment in writing to a draft resolution, provided the amendment does not extend the scope of the draft resolution or is ruled out of order for any other reason by the presiding officers. So he's extending the scope, because here the motion is we either support or throw our weight behind the renaming or we are not. Now he's completely removing the motion, because at the core of our motion is we are calling for Parliament to support Winnie Mandela. If he wants to do those things of Koto, he can write his own motion and come here and propose Koto. He must not put us into those things.
Thank you very much. Honorable members, as is required procedurally, the table has to check any motion.
Point of order, Deputy Speaker.
But I'm speaking. Can you just hold on a little bit?
I will do so.
Let me finish my sentence at least. Can't you guys have a little patience there? Honorable members, as is procedurally required, that the table will assess any motion, amendment to a motion, for compliance with the rules, so that it is appropriate, does not do what Honorable Malema says it does, so that it complies. And that has been done, and we are satisfied that it is in line with the rules. So what we are going to do next is to put, as is required, the amendment and then go back. Okay, that's the procedure.
On a point of order,
Yes, Honorable Member.
the simple logic that we're trying to illustrate to you, Deputy Speaker, is that Parliament is given a choice to throw its weight behind a name as part of the permissible
Honorable
process.
Member, that's a political point. It's not a procedural issue.
What the amendment of the ANC is doing is to altogether suggest, it's actually to even note, it's not
Honorable
even
Member,
recommending a resolution.
you are debating
it is
a political
just a
matter.
waffling, which is altogether a distortion of the scope
No,
of
Honorable
the
Member, I
motion
switch
that
off
was
your mic
placed
because
in
you're out of
the House.
order and you're not listening.
Honorable Deputy Speaker,
Yes.
it must be brought to your attention that whosoever assisted you to reach the determination that you have just informed us of, that person is wrong. It's not sound in law.
Honorable
what you
Member.
are saying that the magnitude of the amendment by the chief whip of the majority party is actually compliant with the rule.
Honorable Gadi, I really respect you. But I would like to suggest to you, if you query the ruling of a presiding officer, you know what you should do. You know the procedure you should do. You
The
can't
problem
hope to
with
find
you,
I have ruled this
presiding-
matter.
the problem with
Get-
you, presiding officer, is that every time you must be presiding on an EFF motion or where the emotions
Honourable
are
member.
high and stakes are high on
Honourable
an
member.
issue, you must actually collapse parliament.
Okay.
And it's exactly what you want to do.
Okay, honorable member, with the greatest of respect, I have heard you. I plead with you to take your
But
seat.
can you, for a change, on the 20th of March, we are rising in this house.
I have now
At
spoken
least
to
can
you
be-
enough. I switch off the mic. Okay? Take your seat.
Deputy Speaker,
No, no,
it's
no,
not
no.
in your
Honorable
best
member, I
interest
have
for your
warned you.
political.
I am now doing it. Honorable members, we are now proceeding with putting the amendment before. Honorable members, I now put the amendment. No, honorable members, can I proceed with the procedure here before? Honorable Sheikh, go ahead. Okay, sorry, I'm sorry, yeah.
To
Yes, honorable member?
Honorable Deputy Speaker, Honorable Malema referred to Princess Krotua, or the mother of the Khoisan nation, as that Khoita thing, Krotua thing. That is totally disrespectful, Deputy Speaker. I think you need to
I
get him
think you
to
must check
correct that.
Hansard, presiding
Honorable
officer. It's
Gandhi,
not true.
please take your seat. Who gave you permission to rise?
She is Princess Krotua, and I think he needs to correct that, Deputy Speaker.
Honorable member, thank you very much. Allow me to check the Hansard. I will do that. Thank you very much. Honorable members, I now put the amendment to the motion of the Honorable J.S. Malema as moved by the Honorable, the Chief Whip of the Majority Party. Are there any objections? If there are objections,
Deputy Speaker,
what are you raising, Honorable member?
Your phrasing is very problematic because, can you please repeat the question?
Honorable member, please take your seat.
Repeat
I will
the question
do
so I can hear
that.
the
No,
question, yeah.
I will tell you what we are doing now. I will tell you
Which
what
motion are we voting on, the amendment or the original one?
This is why you must listen. Take your seat
But you
and
must
listen.
phrase properly.
Honorable
must
member,
talk properly as well.
honorable member, just listen. Take your seat. Honorable member, I will repeat it. It's important. I now put the amendment to the motion of Honorable J.S. Malema as moved by Chief Whip of the Majority Party. Are there any objections? There being objections, I now put the question. Those in favor will say aye. Aye. Those against, no. The ayes have it. Right?
We call for division.
Okay. The division having been called, the bells will be rung for 5 minutes. Take your seats and let's settle down. I'd like to remind you members that you may only vote from your allocated seats. When requested to do so, members must simply indicate their vote by pressing the appropriate button below the yes, no, or abstain signs. If a member inadvertently presses the wrong button, the member may thereafter press the correct button. The last button pressed will be recorded as the member's vote when the voting session is closed by the chair. The question before the House is that the amendment to the motion on the order paper as moved by the Chief Whip of the Majority Party be agreed. Are all members in their allocated seats? Voting will now commence. Those in favor of the amendment should press the yes button. Those against, press the no button. Those wishing to abstain should press the abstain button. Have all members voted? Okay, thank you. The voting session is now closed. Honorable members, the results are as follows. There are 6 abstentions, 25 noes, and 224 yes. The motion is therefore agreed to. Honorable members, we now move to the next item.
Deputy Speaker,
Yes,
Mr.
Honorable Member.
Speaker,
Deputy Speaker, please may I just check the number tally on that last? Did you say 5
Mr.
noes?
Speaker,
No, I said, let me just read this out. 6, 25,
you don't have pen.
224.
Deputy Speaker,
Yes, Honorable Member.
when an amendment is made to the motion, you vote on it. You still put the original motion up for a decision, and then you decide on that. That is the procedure that we've been following throughout this house, that you must put the original motion up for a decision. You cannot amend a motion and then you relegate it all together. The original motion must still be put on the test in the house. We vote on it in its original form. That is how the rules apply like in this house.
Okay, Honorable Shivambo. The House have just disagreed with you. Okay, Honorable Member. And now,
On the amendment, yes.
Honorable
And then you must still put the original motion here.
no, Honorable Member, let's
for
not
decision.
debate. Honorable Member, let's not debate. You know what you should do. Honorable members. Yes, what are you raising on, Honorable Member?
Deputy Speaker, you may want to consult with the table quickly because that's how it's done.
Okay.
And
Honorable Member.
That's why other
Honorable
chief
Member.
whips are not even arguing that because they know it has been done like that.
Yeah, Honorable
Please.
Member. And because they know it's been done the way we are doing it now, they have advised me appropriately.
No, the
I have
table-
consulted, Honorable Member. Don't worry about that. I have consulted.
Yeah.
I don't act only on myself. I have a collective around me that I consult all the time. Thank you very much. Honorable members, democracy is satisfied. Now we proceed to exercise it. I now put the motion as amended.
That's it.
Are there any objections?
Speaker.
No, the original one.
Deputy Speaker, you must check into the rules, the procedure which
Honorable
has got precedence.
Honorable Shivambo, I have ruled on
That
this
the
matter.
original motion must be put.
The rules
do
prevent
not-
you from
do not
arguing with
you
me.
do not just substitute a motion because of an amendment.
Honorable,
That is not how we process motions in this house.
Honorable Member, please take your seat. I have ruled on this matter. You can raise your objections.
Deputy Speaker, you see, if that is the case, you should have put the original motion first to be defeated first
Honorable,
before you take an amendment.
this honorable
Because
member,
that is the motion that was processed by the EFF. It is the motion of the EFF. It has to be put on a test on its own. It is undemocratic to amend the motion of the EFF without putting it to a test to the House. How do you call that democracy?
honorable member,
It's not a democracy. It's not a democracy. You have to put the motion of the EFF into the test.
Honorable
It is
member.
what the Hansard says. I mean the ATC.
honorable member, I have.
That's the
listened to you.
motion that was put in the ATC. That's the motion
Honorable
everybody
member.
came to debate.
Honorable-
Nobody debated the amended motion.
Honorable member,
No
I'm
one
switching
debated
off
it.
the mic now. You take your seat. Yes, honorable member. There's a member on the floor I've just recognized now. Please take your seat, Honorable Malema. Go ahead, Honorable Member.
Thank you, Honourable Chairperson. The rules are quite clear. The original motion no longer exists. It was amended by the House. Further, I would advise our colleague to have a look at Rule 1214. It says quite clearly that the procedure says that the amendment be put first. And then we should vote on the amendment. The House did. Then the original motion has been amended. The original motion no longer exists. Now we have to vote on the amended motion. That's what the rules say, not Hansa.
Yes, Honorable Steniers.
Deputy Speaker, in terms of Rule 1214 of the NA rules, and with the precedent that has actually guided the last 4 amendments to draft resolutions in this House, This is the exact procedure that we've used. And the EFF should know this because it was their one on the resolution of expropriation and compensation, which was amended by the ANC, which followed this exact same process. So I don't understand why now we've got to adopt a new process just because the EFF haven't got their way today.
Honorable members, democracy has prevailed. We now proceed we now exercise the democratic decision of the House as the rules implies. The principles are always useful to remember. I now put the motion as amended. Are there any objections? There are no objections. The motion is therefore, as amended, is therefore agreed to.
No. Speaker, register the objection of the EFF to that amended motion. We reject it because you are rejecting Mama Winnie.
Honorable member.
Yes, you did. You rejected Mama Winnie. All of you combined.
Honorable member.
You rejected Mama Winnie.
Honorable members, I plead with you to first wait to be recognized before you speak.
Okay.
Otherwise, I will switch the mic off as I have to. Yes, honorable member?
Honorable Deputy Speaker,
Yes.
that procedure you are following is
Yes.
wrong.
Okay.
Let
me advise you, Honorable Malema, before you proceed, you can't contest the ruling of a presiding officer now. You must do it in the appropriate manner, write to the Speaker and inform her of your objection and on what grounds, not in the House.
But you are
The decision of the presiding officer in the House is final.
You are going to mess up this process with.
I have already ruled, Honorable Member, don't use bad, false and bad language in the House, please.
What bad language? What bad language?
Mamela Jolente. Jwale o qala ntho tse mpe.
No,
And
but
ha ke
what
batle
you
ho
say
ya
I'm
mono.
using a bad language when I'm talking.
Mamela Mshanis.
Now you change my motion here. You don't want me to speak. What is the point of us being elected here? Because we will never have motions here if you are allowed to
Honorable
just
Member,
change
I'm going to
motions
switch
like
off the
that.
microphone now. The debate is over between me and you. It's not a debate, in fact. The debate is that of the House.
No.
The rules apply here. And I've made my ruling.
With
And
due
Honorable
respect,
Malema,
Deputy Speaker.
I'm switching off the mic.
With due respect.
Honorable Member, I switch off the mic.
With due respect, can I make my point? I will sit down.
No.
I want to make a point.
What's your point?
You presided over the rejection of Winnie Mandela. It will go down
I
in
switch off the
history as
mic.
such.
We now go to this. What's this? Okay.